Hello and welcome to this weekend market analysis where we are going to be looking into the long term to see those pairs that are showing us clear directional biases for us to trade in this upcoming trading week. Alright, first let's look into the Forex Factory economical calendar to see those high impact news announcements that have been scheduled for the week. We have bank holidays on Monday. Alright, bank holiday on Monday coming from the euro and the Swiss franc axis. We do not expect that this will slow down things as far as it is not coming from America. Bank holidays that usually comes from the American dollar axis tends to slow the market, but this is coming from Swiss and the euro axis, and so we don't expect that bank holiday to slow the market. All right. Okay, we have other high impact news events. More importantly is the employment data coming from the Australian dollar axis. This is more of the NFP. It's more of the NFP. You want to be careful trading all Australian dollar pairs on Thursday, June 13th, around that news release hour. This is going to cause some market volatility, as employment data are usually very powerful news announcements that can rock the market. Okay, others are normal high impact news announcement, speeches and the rest. Just pay attention to all of these news events. All right, especially if you're an intraday trader, you want to really pay attention to those news announcements. All right, let's look into the charts and see what we have waiting for us. The first one is the euro against the American dollar. Last week was quite impressive. Like I said, the market volume was very impressive. It's what we have been praying to see. We have been longing to see this kind of a market volume, this kind of price action. It is beginning to happen, and we are very happy about it. Okay. Now, the euro against the American dollar has made a significant push to show us that the directional bias seems to be changing to the upside. Several highs have been taken out. This high here has been taken out. This one here has been taken out, which is a hint that price is now pushing to the upside. I am seeing that price may not pull back down again, so let's keep our level here. This should be our level of resistance, and that level of resistance has been broken. And then we have this one here as well. Okay, price is sitting above that level of resistance, this one here. If we find any form of continuation moves, either a congestion candle here, all right, or a pin bar, we are going to be looking for more pushes to the upside. So let's just keep watching as price sits high up there. The intraday time frame, well, we'll be analyzing that in the intraday market analysis. For now, as far as the weekend market analysis goes, we'll stop at the daily time frame. So we are going to be watching and waiting for more continuation moves or continuation formation for price to push to the upside. Okay, that's just it. All right, let's move on to the next pair, the Australian dollar against the American dollar. Here, price tends to be turning to the upside, but the directional bias is not changed yet, except for the fact that this previous swing low has not been taken out. All right, if price turns around here and start pushing to the upside, then we have a hint that the directional bias might be changing. But for now, price is still trading around an area that has been holding price as support, okay, which may now act as resistance. At any rate, the moves seems to be more to the upside. It seems price is really trying to change direction to start pushing to the upside. So if you are trading here, be very careful hitting on your sell button. The direction seems to be changing to the upside. Okay, nothing much here. Let's move on to the next pair, New Zealand dollar against the American dollar. well, we saw that solid push as of last week. That's a nice move right there. Well, it is still very much intact. That directional bias is still very much intact. You want to be careful hitting on your sell button. What I am expecting before I get involved is a pullback. If we can get a pullback to this area, then we can look for buy entry from there on. If that pullback doesn't happen, then we get a breakout to the upside, then we'll be looking for pullbacks to that level for us to look for buy entries. All right. Right now, the New Zealand dollar against the American dollar is trading around resistance zone. All we need to see is a bounce for a pullback, then a continuation move, or a breakout for a pullback and a continuation move. That is what we need to see. For now, there is no entry for us, and so we are not taking a trade here, but we are still watching to see what's going to happen. All right, the American dollar against the Swiss franc in the weekly time frame, quite an interesting pair. We can see that this solid trend line has been broken. That's a nice trend line, so we'll be looking for the trend collapse entry. Okay, this is solid breakout of a solid trend line. So let's wait for the trend collapse entry. We need to see a pullback to retest the trend line for a reversal move. This is going to be a very nice trading opportunity that is coming up. We hope we are going to see the pullback for us to get our entries right. All right, let's see the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. Another breakout, just like we analyzed the last week. You can see the solid breakout of that trend line that we talked about last week. Now price is sitting on a highway free of traffic to the next level of support, which is the outer trend line that we have here in the weekly time frame. So there is just enough room to search for trading opportunities to the downside. In the weekly time frame, what we'll be searching for right now is we need to search for continuation formation. If we get that congestion bar, then we'll be looking for further pushes by next week. That means this week might be hesitation week. It might be a slow trading week. If we must see that congestion bar, if that is going to happen, then it will be a sideways week for the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. All right, let's keep it there. Solid trend line break, we need to wait. In the daily time frame, you can see how price just cruised below that expanding triangle that we drew before, which is a nice thing for us to see. So we need to wait again for the pullback to retest that area for us to look for our short entries. These are very nice price actions. We need to wait for that until that pullback happens. We may not find an entry here. Okay, so just be patient. All right, the American dollar against Japanese yen is another pair that I am thinking will go down by this week. We'll still keep pushing to the downside, so we'll be searching for short entries in the daily time frame. Price just retested that previous level of support, which is now resistance. We hope to see price keep pushing to the downside in the 4 hours time frame, where I will reserve this for the intraday market analysis. So the directional bias here for us is still to the downside. All right, let's see the Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc in the weekly time frame. This is a nice bounce. All right, it's a nice bounce of that level of support. The directional bias should be to the upside. This is a very valid setup. It's something that we would have traded. Okay, but I am seeing that it's like the Canadian dollar and the Swiss franc have equal strength, and so you might see some hesitation. Well, anything can happen, but ultimately the directional bias for this pair for this upcoming trading week is more to the upside. If you want to trade, please look for only buy entries. We are going to decide whether to trade it or not. If we are not going to be trading this, then we have just hold on, let me set an arrow here. Directional bias should be to the upside. If we are not going to be trading this, then we should be looking into the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar in the weekly time frame. Okay, remember we talked about this level being broken. We will have a double top formation there. Now we got that pin bar. All right, that pin bar I expect to see a drop to the downside for this upcoming trading week. So I'm just going to place an arrow there as well. Okay, going to place an arrow, red arrow. Hopefully we are going to see a price making some pushes to the downside. So this is another nice one that we need to keep. If we are also going to trade more setups, then we should be looking into the euro against the Swiss franc. I don't need to waste your time here. I just need to show you the setups. This is reacting off a key level of support. You can see that level has been holding price, and we finally got a pin bar of that level. So this is another solid setup that we'll be looking for entries as the market is going to open. Let me keep that here. Okay, so we should be looking for entries here. We expect price to keep pushing to the upside to maintain this range formation. So nice one there. We are going to be following these setups. Hopefully we will take the trade as the market is going to open. So be patient, wait for the signals. All right, wait for the signals, then you can take the trade. We will send the signals before the market opens. All right. Okay, thanks for watching. This is basically all. If you have questions or contributions, feel free send them across to us, and we'll be very happy to respond to them. We're wishing you a very profitable trading week ahead. Bye bye.